We all know that there are many fans of football around the world, and the FIFA World Cup is one of the biggest football events that gathers not millions, but billions of viewers from pretty much every corner of the world. To conduct such a big event, there are numerous stadiums that are being built with some of the most top-notch, state-of-the-art facilities with an impressive architecture. But what happens to these stadiums when all the glory of a football event is gone and they are left abandoned? That's what we're going to find out in this video today, so without any further ado, let's get started. Prior to the driven preparations for the FIFA World Cup 2022, Qatar's football stadiums were mere structures dispersed across urban areas, often reflecting the country's passion for the sport but lacking the scale and technological advancements associated with modern sporting arenas. The transformation that occurred in the years preceding the event was nothing short of extraordinary, transforming the very foundation of Qatar's football culture and architectural landscape. Prior to this gigantic project, Qatar had several small stadiums that were mostly used for domestic league games and regional events. While functional, these stadiums were not suited to host a global event of the scope of the World Cup, since they lacked the capacity, facilities, and sustainability criteria required by FIFA and the international community. So, where was Qatar lacking? FIFA had a set of precise guidelines for a World Cup host site plan: a main stadium of at least 80,000 people to host the final, at least one more of 60,000 capacity that must host a semi-final, and numerous more of at least 40,000. Though FIFA allowed Russia to have two that fell below 35,000 4 years ago. When Qatar applied for and won the privilege of hosting in 2010, it planned to build 12 stadiums. About 3 years into its lengthy preparations for the 2022 tournament, the building plan was reduced to 8 venues. 7 of them were constructed from scratch, and the Khalifa International Stadium was reconstructed in preparation for the 2019 Indoor Athletics World Championships. FIFA agreed to this because Qatari soccer didn't require so many venues. Qatar did not require such large arenas for its home games in the 12-team Qatar Stars League, which generally draws crowds of a few thousand. The long-term promise during bids was to remove one tier from various sites following the competition. The steel and seats were to be donated to less wealthy countries that require stadium infrastructure. It is also assumed that Qatar had spent a total of $200 billion on the projects that were tied to preparing for the World Cup. So, what happened next? As Qatar began its preparations for the 2022 World Cup, a bold plan evolved to reinvent football stadiums by combining cutting-edge technology with ecological principles, all while paying homage to the country's rich cultural legacy. The makeover began with a thorough overhaul of existing venues and the development of cutting-edge new stadiums, each meant to demonstrate Qatar's dedication to quality and innovation. Cutting-edge architectural firms from all around the world were enlisted to bring these ideals to reality, resulting in a collection of landmark projects. Qatar received 7 new and different arenas with strong themes based on local culture, and these were some of the details. The Lusail Stadium, which had a capacity of 89,000 people, was modeled after a bowl that was constructed by hand, and the Al Bayat Stadium, with the capacity of 69,000 people, resembled a nomad's desert tent. Apart from that, the Al Thumama Stadium was shaped like a woven cap. The late Zaha Hadid, the world's most famous woman architect at the time, was said to have drawn inspiration from the sails of a pearl fishing boat when designing Al Janoub Stadium. Many observers noticed feminine delicacy in the sweeping arcs of its roof. The Al Wakra Stadium also exemplified Qatar's ambitious vision for its football infrastructure. Through thorough planning and imaginative design, Al Wakra Stadium underwent a dramatic transformation, emerging as a cutting-edge arena that perfectly integrates heritage and innovation. Inspired by the dhow boats that have long been a part of Qatari culture, the stadium's undulating roof and streamlined facade pay homage to the country's nautical past while embracing cutting-edge sustainable elements like solar panels and rainwater collecting systems. So what was the aftermath of everything that was built? Previous experiences had proven that many host countries were unprepared to deal with the vacant infrastructure, with Brazil being the most well-known recent example in 2014, when they were left with multiple white elephants that fell into disrepair immediately after the tournament. This was a major concern for Qatar, given the country had little football or sporting history and much of its infrastructure had to be developed from scratch, as we mentioned earlier. As a result, Qatar's organizers had been compelled to devise novel methods to ensure that the country does not face the challenge of determining how to use 8 major football stadiums after the World Cup. The design team in charge of Qatar's new stadiums had pledged to use modular features while developing the structures. This had usually taken the shape of stadiums with top tiers that may be removed at the end of the event. With that being said, Al Bayat Stadium, Ahmad bin Ali Stadium, Al Janoub Stadium, and Al Thumama Stadium were all converted into smaller stadiums with 20 to 25,000 seats, making them more suitable for domestic entertainment and sporting purposes. Several stadium locations were also repurposed as seats were eliminated, making them considerably more sustainable in the long run. Al Bayat Stadium was thought to be expanded with a commercial center and a hotel, while Al Thumama Stadium received a hotel and a sports clinic. Similarly, Al Janoub Stadium became Al Wakra Sports Club's new home, replacing the present Saud bin Abdul Rahman Stadium and hosting Qatar Stars League matches. Lusail Iconic Stadium, on the other hand, transformed into a community hub including schools, stores, cafes, athletic facilities, and health clinics. However, there's always something in the picture that isn't given as much attention as the rest of the picture, and in this case, it was the labor. Behind the dazzling exterior and cutting-edge amenities were the experiences of thousands of workers, many of whom were subjected to unsafe working conditions and inadequate protection during the construction process. While the stadiums themselves became symbols of Qatar's ambition and success, the human toll of their construction served as a sobering reminder of the difficulties that come with tackling such massive projects. Individuals who were injured while working on the stadiums had their lives forever changed by incidents and mishaps that occurred in the name of Qatar's football dreams. Construction workers faced a variety of risks, including falls and collisions as well as exposure to dangerous materials, with some paying the ultimate price for their commitment to the project. But the misery didn't end there. For many who suffered injuries while working, the effects went far beyond physical discomfort and misery. Many people encountered financial difficulties as medical costs rose and their ability to work was hampered by their conditions. In a country where migrant workers may have limited access to healthcare and social support networks, navigating life after an injury can be especially difficult. Despite efforts by Qatari authorities and international organizations to aid injured workers, many struggled to rebuild their lives following their accidents. Despite the hurdles and disappointments, stories of bravery and togetherness arose among Qatar's construction workers. Despite adversity, many workers got together to fight for their rights and demanded better treatment from their superiors and government. Organizations such as the International Labor Organization and Amnesty International collaborated with local activists to highlight the situation of injured workers and advocate for real reforms to defend their rights and well-being. As Qatar's football stadiums continue to stand as symbols of the country's ambition and success, the stories of the injured workers who helped build them serve as a sobering reminder of the human cost of such attempts. Let us know what are your thoughts on it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more such content. Thanks for watching.